my name is Shadow Templar 591, and this is my What Is video series, where I give an in-depth look at a game without spoiling the story of said game, and any tips or tricks I might have found along the way. Right now I'm doing, as you can tell, Hyper Light Drifter, which is a 32-bit-esque 2D action-adventure RPG game. That's a mouthful. It is made by Hot Machine, and to date, it is their only game they have made. Hyper Light Drifter does take many of its cues from Soulsborne games, but I'll go into that a little depth more later on. But before that, I want to go through some of the options and settings and stuff. So you have a new game, and then you also unlock New Game Plus once you beat the game in a boss rush mode. You have your standard settings, nothing too crazy here, and then your controls. Personally, I used an Xbox One controller. You probably could use an Xbox 360 controller, I would imagine. I don't know if you could use a regular Xbox controller. Probably not. Or a PS4 controller. While keyboard and mouse does work fine, and actually the game recommends using a gamepad or a controller. And the reason being is this game actually makes really good use of the rumble feature in the game. So what I mean by that is, when you actually teleport to an area, so if I teleport back to the central hub here, my little character will bring up a little thing and teleport there, and while he's teleporting, while he's being beamed up by Scotty and beamed down, the gamepad actually rumbles, which is a nice little immersion feature, added immersion to the game. Not only that, when I hit an enemy or am hit by an enemy, the gamepad will rumble, and when your character is low on health, he will not only bleed, but the gamepad will actually, or controller, will pulsate to mimic a heartbeat, which I think is really cool. Now, much like Soulsborne games, you can increase different aspects of your character, like you can increase your weapons ammo, you can get new items, such as these little bombs, you can learn new techniques, and you can get different clothes that actually affect your character and what they can do. Now these can be acquired one of three ways. They can require what I call golden pixel pieces, modules or extra modules, and green keys. Now with that being said, as you might notice, is my little pink robot buddy flying next to me. Sadly, there's no way to upgrade him. He's only how you interact with the world. So first off, I want to talk about what I call the golden pixel pieces. There's actually no in-game name for them, so that's what I call them because that's what they remind me of. And there's actually not a lot of names for a lot of things in this game, but when we go to the story, I'll talk more about that. That relates more to the Soulsborne aspect of it. Another way, actually, is like a Soulsborne game. So, as you can see, to get this ability, I need 3 golden blocks. I call them blocks because 4 of those golden pixels, which are smaller, will make up one of the blocks. And you need 3 blocks, so I need 12 pixel pieces, golden pixel pieces, to get 3 golden pixel blocks to get this ability. I can do math. Now, I can find these golden pixel pieces a number of ways. One of the ways I can find them is just throughout the area. They'll be just kind of hanging out in the world. I can find them that way. I can also find them by going through some increased difficulty doors. So there'll be these special doors that you can only get by unlocking them through modules or keys, finding green keys, as I talked about those 2 before. Or after a really hard fight, you can actually get them as a reward. And not necessarily a boss fight, but if there's a long fight or a fight with a lot of enemies, you'll get them. Now, this is one of the modules. I have gotten this, so I can't interact with it. On the map, they will be grayed out, as you can see. If I haven't gotten a module, because not all the modules actually pop up in the map, it'll actually be red to signify I haven't got it. In each area, there are 8 modules. You only need 4 of them to progress the story. You need 8 of them to get in those hot areas I was talking about. And this is one of them over here. So I only have 4 in this area, so I can't unlock this door. These areas will, like, as we talked about before, have golden pixel pieces. They'll actually have weapons, so they might have one of those 2 guns that you saw I was missing. Or what they will have is clothes. So they'll have one of those 3 things. As you can see, this is a door I can get because I have enough modules. I'm not going to go through it. So that's how you get. That's another way how you get those items to upgrade your character and augment them. The third way is those keys. Those keys are like the golden pixels in the sense that you will find them throughout the world. It's actually, you don't get them from those doors or anything. You'll just be laying around. I believe there's about 12 of them. I can't remember, 12 or 13 of them. I can't remember offhand how many. There's a bunch. If you look, currently have 2. And then the map, which I can talk about more since I brought it up again to show you the number of keys, will actually tell you how many modules you have, how many crystals, not crystals, how many keys. It will actually, when you hover over the central area, it'll actually show you how many of these pillars you have. Because you need the 4, they apparently like even numbers, because you need the 4 modules to bring up one of the pillars, to activate one of the pillars in each of the 4 areas, which will raise one of these pillars that leads to the final area. There's also 2 modes, so there's kind of this overlay and then this underlay that kind of gives you a better idea of what everything looks like. This is just your inventory screen, what weapons you have equipped, what abilities, how much health you can get, how much health you have, how much ammo, and then how much meds you have, health kits, med kits, and how many you can actually hold. One thing I definitely like about this game is the enemies follow the same rules as the hero. So these actually, right here, these floors will actually fall down. If I get one of the enemies to stand on it and stay there and they fall down, they'll die. You as a character won't, you'll just take damage, but that really is a good design philosophy in my opinion, because what that does is it makes it so the player doesn't feel like they're being cheated. Like the game's enemies follow different rules than the player does. Now, as you might also notice, I actually ran out of ammo, but when I attack with my sword, I actually get more ammo back. So there's a nice play between not relying just solely on your one weapon or another, but relying on a multitude of weapons. Not only just one gun, but you can have 2 at a time, but not only just your guns, but your swords as well as your abilities. Which, because of how tight the combat is in this game, really makes it feel good. The combat is really tight. The enemies, because they follow the same rules as the character, everything feels really fresh and exciting. What am I trying to? I'm trying to teleport, and I am failing at it. Sorry about that, guys. So that's one really great thing about the game. On a side note, and I should have shown this when I was in the central area, that kind of shield ability you might have seen I don't know if it's just a little quirk of it, or if it's just something that I'm doing, but I have times where sometimes it will not activate, and at least I believe it should. It could, once again, it could be something I'm doing, or it could be a quirk with the game that I just don't know. Either way, it's a little annoying. It has got me killed a couple times, but it's not the end of the world. So, another area, different area. There's 4 areas where we can see. So, once again, that's spikes. Enemy went over, died. I did not. I did, but I only took damage. So, once again, just showing how the enemies follow the same rules as the characters. Now, I don't know, there are enemies who will actually drop from these trees. I'm gonna go see if I can find some. But why I'm doing that, I want to talk about the story. So once again, just a lot of other aspects in this game, this game takes a lot of its cues from the Soulsborne games. One of the ways it does is I don't want to say lack of story, but how can I put it? And I don't want to say lack of hand holding, but this is what I will say. The way you get the story pieces is there is no dialogue in this. There is some text, which you do get from these things called monoliths, which are actually not even in. They're in a different language, they're in a made-up language. The fanbase has, nicely enough, translated it for everyone, so they've made an alphabet so you can translate it yourself. There's 16 of them. 15 of them only have lines on them, a line each, and the 16th one doesn't have much at all. It has more, it has a couple lines, but it really adds more mystery than anything else to the rest of the experience in the story. So I'm not going to talk about it too much, since a lot of it, even more than a Soulsborne game, is conjecture. What I'd say is just play the game, see what you get out of it, and then watch a YouTube video. That's all I can really say about that. Before I want to go to these enemies. So these are the enemies. They didn't drop from trees. They will at later in the level. One thing that bums me out about those enemies is there's not an animation for them. I kind of wish there was. I understand why there isn't, but I wish there was, because they literally just drop out of the tree. I know it's in this art style, which is fantastic. I love it. Would be hard to do. Another thing is, as you probably heard, when I reload my weapon, there's not an animation for that. It just kind of happens. And that's another thing I wish they would have done. I understand how it might have been hard with the art style and why they didn't, but just something that I think would have been cool. But just, once again, little nitpicky stuff. So that's, crap. So yeah, once again, just little nitpicky stuff. There is one thing that I didn't notice until the final battle of this game, and when I started the New Game Plus, as it's called, or hard mode, whatever you want to call it, is when you get hit, you do have invincibility flames, but they're not very long. So, and before I continue that up, so this is one of the pillars you are trying to activate with the 4 modules, and that you see represents one of the pillars in the central area that you probably saw before. And then these golden boxes are what'll have those golden pixels. Obviously, I didn't get that one, so you can't see it. But your invincibility frames, I feel, are criminally short. I know for a lot of later in the game, the boss has a couple of abilities that he can use that will almost instantly kill you. And in the New Game Plus, there are a bunch of enemies that will, just because you have less health. You start out with 2 health, you can't upgrade it like normal, but that just brings you about to where you would have on max health here brings on New Game Plus just brings you to what you would have a normal health in a regular game. So, I kind of wish they were longer, or the attacks didn't do as much damage. That's another just little pet peeve of mine. Now going back to the story, actually, yeah, I think I've said everything I want to story. Sorry, my voice cracked again. I want to talk about the art style, because the art style, in my opinion, is great. I love it. I can understand why when you hear the whole 16 or 30-bit art style, your eyes roll and you want to tune me out. And I understand that, because a lot of indie games have done it, and it's been done to death. And it's because it's cheap, it's easy, but this game really embraces it. Everything from the foliage, to the animals, to the boats, to even the blood itself pixelates in that pixel form. So it's not something it's something they did probably because it's convenient, it's easy, it's cheap, but they really embraced it. And not only that, but they updated it. So while they stayed true to the source material, they took it and they added their own spin onto it. And I really enjoy it. I really like it. I think they do a really good job. And with the music, I think it really brings a level to this game that just you don't hear in a lot of games, and you don't see in a lot of games. Usually, a lot of games that do this will play lip service to it, but this game, I feel, is someone who's played a lot of those old games and is replaying them. Really think this game embodies what those old games used to sound like, what they used to feel like, what they used to look like. And because the combat is so good, the art style is so good, in my opinion, the music is so good, the orchestral score is so good. Not only does it change from area to area, but if you're in a boss battle, they have their own sound, their own music, and it'll change depending on what's going on. So they really envision that. So these embrace it and know what those games were made of and why everyone liked them. So these are the kind of speech bubbles, I guess, or picture bubbles I was talking about. These are the columns, but this game embraces it, and embraces it well, and I think it really should be rewarded. Sadly, because there isn't a lot of story and a lot of it, what there is conjecture. It is the weakest part of this game, but thankfully the other three aspects of the game are so tight that it makes up for it, and there is a strong enough fan base in this game to look up this stuff. And I think if those other three aspects weren't so great, this game would have gone unnoticed. But I'm glad they are, because this is a great game. I recommend it to just about anybody. It's a great action game. The mystery is pretty good. You pick up a lot of stuff, especially after watching the YouTube videos just second time through. I did. And overall, I would recommend it. But once again, guys, my name has been Shadow Templar 591. As always, have a great day.